Good evening, everyone. My name is Miss Pegg. I'm Head of Media Studies at Coombe Boys School, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Year 10 option subject, which is media. So at Coombe, we run the Level 1/2 BTEC, which is equivalent to a GCSE. It means the exact same thing in terms of progression for college and sixth form, and it's just graded slightly differently. So instead of a 1 to 9, students would receive a pass up to a distinction merit, but that would be explained to the students if they opted for us. So I've always said if you enjoy studying English, then media is the course for you. It involves extended writing, it's creative, it requires good use of language skills because what we do in media is we analyse and look at products in much more detail. So one of the first things I always get asked by students in year 7 usually is what is media? So most of us know that it's everything kind of that surrounds us now. So it's the internet, social media, video games, magazines, newspapers, TV, streaming sites. It's basically products that we interact with every single day, and how they have now become such an important part of our lives, especially for young people growing up. So why study? Why pick us for year 10 options? Like I mentioned, it's part of your daily life. It impacts most people, even if they don't realise. So an advertisement on a bus, you might see every day. You might see a newspaper. You might use social media. Working in the media industry is one of the best paid jobs in the country now. It's really broad. It's lots of options out there for young people who aren't necessarily interested in going to university straight away. They can go out and start working in the world of media. Jobs now look for people with a media background for various reasons, but software production is one of them. While studying media, you will get a chance to discuss topics that you don't typically talk about. So something we cover a lot is representation. So how the world and people and groups and places are portrayed to us, if that's through the news or through media, and how that then in turn generates different stereotypes. So it's very interesting, and I always enjoy teaching it in a single-sex school as well, about gender stereotypes. And then also it's very creative and enjoyable. So we do some practical-based tasks over the 2 years. So it's students that enjoy video editing, taking photographs, publishing articles, using software. It's definitely an option for them if that's where they feel their strengths are and what they enjoy. So how it works different to GCSEs is that it is broken into 3 components, so 3 units of work. And the first component is majority written based. It's reports and essays, and that is looking at products, so posters, trailers, interactive games, and analysing it in terms of theory that we learn in lesson, graded by me. Second component is a bit more practical based. So you'll start to develop and evaluate creative skills that you may have learned. And then finally, component 3 is about creating a product. So utilizing all the skills you've learned over the 2 units, over the 2 years, and creating a product that is then sent off for an external examiner to mark, along with written theory to support it. So that's the whole 2 years in these 3 components. So something that we often have when some students start in year 10 is when we're going to watch a film. Unfortunately, we don't just sit and watch films every lesson. In fact, the year 10s currently have not watched a single film yet, because it's not part of the relevant part of the course yet. When they come to analysing audiovisual, they might watch parts of films, but it definitely is a stereotype that I would like to crush. That's not what we do at all. So be prepared to write. Good English, written and verbal skills. Our lessons vary from bookwork to coursework. So some lessons will be learning theory, and then we'll move to the computer room where we then transfer that into coursework. And then the very first coursework unit is extended writing and analysis that we've learned about and applied to different products. So just to give you a bit more detail, and this is all in the booklet as well for you, the 2 components that are graded internally. The first one, you develop your understanding of media products, so the very basic start. So those of you that have never studied media before, we all start at the same point. You will explore the relationship between genre, narrative, and representation in different media products, and hopefully develop your understanding of how they're interpreted by different audiences. So that is all written based. And then component two, this is where I said earlier, you will get to start practicing and developing any creative skills that you might be interested in. So photography, moving image, article writing, Photoshop, all these different elements, and you evaluate your progress as we move along. So we do enjoy trips. However, we have been a little unable to run these over the last few years. But a very successful one is always the Sky Academy trip that we run to the studios, where students get to work with real industry equipment and film different scenarios. Also, we are looking to go to Wembley this year as well to meet their media team and talk to them about prospects and jobs. So it's definitely nice that we get to go out and visit these industry places. So skills that you will need. I always say English language 5 minimum, because there is a lot of writing. So if you don't enjoy that, it might be a bit of a struggle. Good at analysing. So if you've been doing that in English, and history, when you analyse posters from the past, if you're good at that and you enjoy that, that's definitely a great skill. Being an independent learner, so coursework does take longer than the lesson time we are given, so you've got to work outside of lesson. Happy to work as a team as well, because you'll be working in pairs and groups to create practical work. Creative skills. Obviously, this is a very creative subject, so the more creativity you bring is brilliant. Happy to engage with all different types of media products. So we still look at newspapers, and magazines. So some people might not have ever picked up a newspaper or a magazine before, but it means that you still need to be willing and eager to analyse the product, even if it's not something you watch or engage with yourself. And finally, understand that you will be pushed. This is a quite intense course over 2 years, and I always want my students to achieve their best. So it's definitely a course if you're up for a challenge for new skills and learning, but I thoroughly enjoy it. All the students, I believe, thoroughly enjoy it, and most of them go on to study it at A level or BTEC level 3 when they stay with us at sixth form. But hopefully, if you have any questions for me, I will speak to you online. But if not, come up and see me in room 102 and I'll answer any questions you have.